Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We're going to pick up straight from our previous video where we were trying to do we were trying to start on doing work on the Supra. And, well, we've been very rudely interrupted by the Vellere. The Vellere's got, well, it's got a very, very annoying problem. It's semi-urgent. It's very interesting. I've never seen a problem like this before, but it makes sense when you hear about it. What that is, well, I'm going to discuss in a minute. And moreover, if you've got a car that's over 10 years old and made within the last 20, then there's a very good chance that the problem that this car has today is going to affect your car. To find out what that is, well, let me get changed. I'll go over it, I'll pull this thing out, we'll explain the whole lot, and we'll get into it. For now, let's get into it. Let me show you the problem with the Vellere. Let's go. Okay, let's get into what is the damn problem? What is actually wrong with this car that's made me drop everything and shift to this one? Well, it's a very funny one. You see, I noticed it yesterday when I was moving this car. I could hear this very strange sound, and it was coming from the back of the garage. It was literally the sound of a speaker static sound, and I couldn't explain it. It was bizarre. I was wandering around the garage looking for old radios, things that had kicked into life. Couldn't find anything. I checked this car. This car wasn't making the sound. And eventually I figured it out. It was coming from this car at the back of it. So this is where things get really weird. I came around to the back of the car here. And at the back here, I noticed the sound was coming directly from, and I joke you not, this exhaust. Yes, literally this exhaust. Only this side, not on that side, but this side was making a static sound. Literally static, like a speaker. A bit like, you know, you have a megaphone and it's crackling and static, or just turned on the radio and you're on at a station. And it was intermittent. It was this on and off crackling sound coming from the back of this car, specifically that side of the exhaust. And I was just completely dumbfounded, like, how? It wasn't the sound of hissing. It wasn't the sound of dripping or fluids leaking. This was a very classic sound of electric static. And I thought, well, is something sparking or arcing? But no, that's not the case. It was genuinely like somebody was turning on a speaker on and off with crackling sounds. It was really, really strange. So we got out all our tools and we started investigating, and I did a whole lot of research, spent some time on the computer and obviously the phone and AI and all sorts of tools to help me. And I worked out what it was, but not without a great deal of investigation. What it turns out is I wasn't hearing things. There is a speaker. There actually is a factory speaker in here just behind the exhaust. I wasn't hearing things. This speaker plays effectively into that rear area behind the bumper, and it just resonated out down through the exhaust. I really was hearing static crackling from a speaker. So you're probably wondering, well, why is there a speaker, a factory speaker there? Well, let me explain, because this video is quickly turning into a kind of extension of a previous video I did. You might remember, or at least subscribers will remember, I did a video about parasitic drain of the tracker system on this car. And guess what? This is a similar system. In fact, it's directly related. This is effectively parasitic drain video number 2. So why is there a speaker there? Well, it's pretty straightforward. See, this car has a factory alarm system on it. And as part of that factory alarm system, it has a backup siren, a backup battery for that siren, and that's what it is. Now, I'm going to try and show it to you in a minute because, well, it's hard to see. The system is designed so that if something goes wrong with the rest of the alarm system and the rest of the alarm system can't work, well, the siren's still there and it can go off with its own batteries. And it's frankly a pain in the ass to get to. So if you were to disable the rest of the alarm system, that thing's still going to go off. Now, what it is that thing has our old friend lithium-ion batteries. And as I explained in the previous video, lithium-ion batteries, well, they just don't last. You've got sort of 7 to 10 years out of them, and then they're crap. And in an older car like this, where it's 20 years old now, and that really old tech, the old world lithium-ion backup batteries that are in this thing, in fact, they may not even be that. They may be something far, far older technology. Well, they're dead, they're shot. And to make matters worse, the part is completely exposed. It is open to the elements. Yes, you can't reach your hand in there, but you can see it. And if you can see it, well, anything can get into it, water, moisture, whatever. And I can see serious corrosion on that part. So the part's corroded. It's probably got internal corrosion on it. The batteries have failed, and it decided last night to, well, start playing up. And if it's playing up and I can hear it, it also means it's, well, parasitic drain again. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, what makes this urgent? It doesn't seem that big a job. Well, you see, when this thing was actually making the sound, when it was actually crackling, it wasn't quiet. And it went on from roughly 6 p.m. to 1 a.m. the next morning. It did not shut up. Every few minutes we could hear this very loud, crackling, disturbing electronic sound, like a speaker was just blurting something out, just like you'd expect from, oh, I don't know, an alarm siren that was failing. So yeah, that was the problem. So yeah, that makes this an urgent job. Now, it has stopped this morning, and that's probably a result of two things. Number one, the cold temperatures that may have just shifted things around a bit inside the housing, the unit. Who knows how the hell those boards work, but it has quietened it down. The other possibility is I did put the trickle charger on this last night, left it all on. If there'd been a bit of a drain in it, perhaps maybe that was playing into it, because there was a kind of pattern to it. It'd be every few minutes, it was those charges building up and then dissipating. So I do think that could have played into it. Either way, we gotta get the thing out now, because I don't want to hear at 1 a.m. more sudden wake me up static crackling sounds from the back exhaust of this car. So today's task right now is try and at least unplug it, if I can get it off, and then start looking for replacement parts. And the good news is, well, I'm pretty sure I've found replacement parts. And again, I'll explain that in a minute, because we come back to our old friend, Aston Tax, and how to avoid it. Okay, let's get on with it. I'm gonna try and pull this thing off now. It is a little bit more tricky than you think, because, well, there's an arch liner for the wheel that runs all the way out to the back of the car here. So the arch liner for the rear wheel starts about here, runs all the way through here, up, over, and then another foot forward. So we've got to get out the back of the arch liner, which is one piece. You can't actually pull the whole thing out without putting the car up on the ramps and then stage by stage, because the ramps do get in the way of it. So it's a multi-stage process to get the arch liner off in these cars. It's really not easy, but I'm hoping I can just bend it out of the way to get my hand in underneath here. Now, it's very hard to show you. I'm going to switch over to the 360 camera, and hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing under there, but it's not an easy task. It looks straightforward, but I'll bet this is going to be a nightmare. For now, let's get on with it. Let's try and get this part off, and hopefully I can show you the part, or at least some pictures of it, so that we can get this thing off the car, or at the very least, unplugged. Okay, there we go. We've got our offending part off. So this is the backup siren with a backup battery in it. It is completely failed. It looks like absolute crap. It is trash. There is so much corrosion on this thing. It's not surprising that it was playing up like that. So it's off the car. It was a little bit of a challenge. It was just a lot of awkward spaces to work in. So once you got used to it, I was able to get this thing out. It shouldn't be too big a deal to get another one and put it in. But you might be wondering, is that going to cost me a lot? Well, no, it can, but it shouldn't. Now, this is technically an Aston Martin part. I can buy it from Aston Martin themselves. I can walk into an Aston Martin dealership and they will sell it to me. Now, depending on your dealership, it's not necessarily straightforward. Some dealerships will say, yeah, we'll sell it to you, but you've got to let us install it, as I've discovered with a number of the dealerships around me. If you are buying one of these from Aston, I strongly recommend you do not let the dealer do it, because it's just too easy to do it yourself. If, however, you've got to let them do it, well, then I wouldn't buy from Aston Martin at all, because the price of this is over £200 from Aston Martin. And that doesn't make a lot of sense, because they did something really stupid with this. Apart from the fact that they stuck it out in the middle of nowhere where it could be exposed to the elements, they did something else very dumb on this. They left the Volvo sticker on it. Yes, this is our old friend, a Volvo part. This is a shared part. It's not actually Volvo, by the way. This is a Ford part with a Volvo sticker on it. So what I've already done is to look up the part number. And I happen to know I can get this for a Range Rover. I happen to know I can get it for a Land Rover. I happen to know I can get it for various Volvos. I can get this part for a ton of different Fords and also some Jaguars. And guess what? Just like with our coolant sensor level, this isn't the hundreds of pounds that Aston Martin want. This part is £13. Now, I'm still chasing down prices on it, and I believe that £13 is a used part. Now, brand new ones may not even be available, but they're sure as hell not going to be Aston prices. I'll bet, just like other parts I've found on this car, it's literally the Aston price with the zero removed. So I'm tipping if I can find a new one, it's probably going to be 20, 25, 30 pounds. But I'm probably going to go used and buy that £13 one. Why? Well, here's the thing. It's utterly useless. You see, this part here, it's 20 years old. Technologically, it is obsolete. It is useless. And insurance companies don't really cover this anymore because it's just not good enough, which is why we've got a complete replacement unit installed in this car. This car has a brand new, completely separate, standalone alarm system on it. It's got nothing to do with the old system because the old system was deemed not good enough for security purposes. And that was the same for the tracker. Now, this part is part of the old security system. It's useless. It doesn't do anything apart from the fact that it's broken, corroded to hell because it's been put in a very bad position by Aston. It's useless. I can't use it for insurance purposes and I can't use it for function. It's just too old, it's too obsolete, it's too broken, and insurance won't touch it. So do I bother putting it back? Well, yes, I'll get the £13 part and I'll put one in so that it's functional again. But honestly, this thing's just dead weight at this point in time. And even better, I can just take it off the car without any impact. The existing factory alarm system, well, that'll still work anyway, along with my secondary alarm system, which also works anyway. So this is just trash. The worst thing is, if I'd left this on the car, this would have been a very significant parasitic drain. Why? Because this thing's got a rechargeable battery in it. Now, I don't know if this is even lithium ion. It may predate that. It's probably pretty old tech. It could be nickel cadmium or whatever else they were using back then. It is 20 years old. In fact, I bet the technology is probably 25 years old. It's an old unit and it sure as hell isn't going to be recharging properly anymore on this car. The batteries will be shot. So what that means is this car was probably constantly always trying to recharge this unit, getting nowhere, and now, fortunately, the unit has failed and I can rip it out. Now, frankly, I should have done this earlier. And to be honest, this should have been done 15 years ago by whoever had this car because this thing would have been on its way out at the time. So if you've got a car that's over 10 years old, this one being 20, this one being 10, and the one behind that door being 30, well, if you've got anything in it that's got rechargeable batteries, just rip them out because all they're doing is causing you massive problems. Okay, just as a footnote to this video, a little bit of extra information and a correction because I was wrong. The car does drive and it does work perfectly without that battery unit. It is not a problem. The backup siren and the backup battery do not affect drivability. You can take the car out and everything works. However, you do get a message on the dash here that does unfortunately tell you that there is an alarm system service required. So the car did pick up that I've pulled that unit out. So you do need to have something in there or go through a whole coding process of removing that message. You can dismiss it. You don't have to have that message there and you just get rid of it, but it is stored and it is there. So unfortunately, yeah, the car did pick it up. We will definitely need to get another module to fit in here. Okay, we're going to wrap it up there. Hopefully this has been a short video. Hopefully I've been able to keep the time down. If you've got an Aston Martin or any car that's got some of these older lithium ion or worse, older rechargeable batteries in it, they're probably killing your car, especially with a parasitic drain. So you should really think about getting those systems upgraded, removed, checked, changed, whatever you need to, because they ain't good for cars. Pretty much anything over 10 years old is going to be having this problem, and this car was no exception. So it's time to wind up this video. I'm going to put the car back in its place. We've got it ready for next week when this thing is hopefully going to be back on the road, and we'll be getting it out to some shows, and we've already got some road trips planned. We were supposed to be taking this car to a car show tomorrow, but I can't. We're going to be taking this car because, well, this is all that's working at the moment. So I'm going to get that cleaned. It's going to go in the ordinary car park. We'll go look at the proper supercars, and this one will sit in the garage waiting until next week when hopefully we get it back on the road. In the meantime, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed any parts of this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Watch for the upcoming videos when I get back into the Supra, because hopefully I'm not going to have many more distractions, but fingers crossed, we will wait and see. I'm also playing with the idea of doing a bit of a comparison, because this is Britain's idea of a big luxury Grand Tourer, and the Supra was Japan's idea. It's never really been a good comparison of the two, and I think it is warranted. For now, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for watching again. I will see you in the next video. Simon out.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no, I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape,